Good afternoon. As advised by PE, I should speak in English. I think for everybody which is not native in English, who denies to speak in the own language, which for us means Greek, but since English is the contemporary lingua franca, I will obey to this fact, and I will try to present what I have to present in English, in my poor English. So, we in Eurocert work in the certification business worldwide, and certification means that what somebody, like an enterprise, an organization, a school, whatever, declares that apply, in many cases there is a need of a third independent eye to declare that this is truth. And the audience of certification is the every shareholder of this fact. When we speak for agricultural products, we are all the buyers. Industrial product, the same. A social phenomenon like bullying has its shareholders as well, which has a broad community comprising from the parents, the authorities, the society, the bully and bullies, and at the end of the day, if the society and the state are those which are responsible for the phenomenon, those as well. I bow down to the experts which presented here the results of a very intense investigation of this complex phenomenon which is bullying, and I respect very much some proposals in some cases or good practices which has been tested in several countries and at several levels of education. But at the end of the day, all this wisdom, we think that should be shaped in a certain and very concrete proposal. What I mean with this proposal. If we go to the school which is around this corner and present all these results of investigation and good practices, I doubt if the teacher or the director of the school, and not only the school, the head of an athletic or sports initiative, a conservatory, whatever organized structure where minors are present. I'm not sure that if we give all this flow of wisdom, I doubt if he understands well what is bullying and mainly what to do tomorrow in order to tackle this phenomenon that you describe me. So this is the first thing. And the second thing is that if we address this issue to those people which do not have the expertise that you have, there is a danger that they consider bullying that is not in the core of their activities, which means that there is the education and the bullying, what we have as a primary need is to incorporate bullying in the core of the activity, to be part of the activity, not to have this plus this. So having this in mind and all these questions and doubts, we share it with the Χαμόγελο του παιδιού, which is the national organization which also chairs in the person of Mr. Yannopoulos the European Anti-Bullying Network, and decided to make a set of I would say requirements concerning the bullying phenomenon, and to write it down in a very comprehensive way, in a standardized way. That means everybody which would like to apply initiatives and efforts to tackle bullying to have a very harmonized, standardized way which can be applied in a school, in a conservatory, in the athleticism, in Greece, in Portugal, in Spain, everywhere. That means to speak or to have a common language. So we created the EANCERT management system standard and certification. Let me explain why system. Bullying is a phenomenon, like a biological phenomenon, an atmospheric phenomenon, whatever, and as phenomenon has a very common and certain parameters. The first parameter is that somebody or something creates the problem or the challenge. Then these external conditions influence a cell, a system where the activity is carried out. Then inside the system we have a kind of, or we should have a kind of management in order to have certain results which hopefully would be the to limit or to diminish the impacts or to maximize the positive things of the phenomenon. So this is a system, this is what applies to every phenomenon, I would say. So we need this systematic approach, even if we speak about a very complex social phenomenon, which is the bullying. And why management? Because in the cell, I mean in the school, where the activities, the educational activities take place, and also the bullying occurs, somebody will or must assume the responsibility, like the maestro of an orchestra, to manage and to coordinate several activities. So that's why we speak about management in a system like a school. So we created the first standard in Europe, I don't know if it is in the world, which comprises all these efforts and thoughts, and we created the EAN anti-bullying standard. So this standard can be applied to every organized structure where minors are present. The school is the most representative example, and at the end of the day, when the organized structure, the school, in our case Doukas, selects, it is not mandatory, to apply the standard, in some cases upon the decision of the school, they need to have an independent declaration that this truly happens in the school, and here comes the certification. An audit team comprised by experts of the bullying, and by Eurocert experts, which are experts of auditing management systems, go to the school and examine if what is written in the standard and declared by the school is in place. A small declaration here: the standard puts general requirement, does not say in any line what the school should do in order to tackle the certain part of the phenomenon, or how the school takes care about it. It is the school initiative to say and to convince the audit team that for every part of the problem, the measures that have been taken are sufficient and acceptable. So if everything is successful, then a certificate is issued. We have I think, a very nice logo. I will show it to you in order to shorten my presentation, which is this one. We have selected the motto for a bully-free society. And why to use this logo? Because, first of all, the school needs to demonstrate that this truly has happened. And on the other hand, this kind of message serves as a paradigm to the shareholders and to others which would like to make use of this standard. I will finish by saying that this initiative to have a standard is very useful to other two cases. The first is that is a harmonized, standardized solution, comprehensive to everybody, so can be applied everywhere, using and taking into account in every part of the system your good practices, your investigation, what you have presented here first. And second, when we address the issue of bullying to the public authorities, if we go with a library of good practices or investigation, they don't have the time, they don't understand. Unless you go with a very comprehensive proposal, which we assume that is the standard, and the way is not paved by floors. We put very great effort here in Greece to convince, but having several meetings with the ministers, personnel which are responsible for the bullying, we have seen that it is more comprehensive for them to put on the table the standard which explains what to do, giving emphasis in prevention. In the Greek mythology, there is a very good example, and I would like to ask you, when we finish, to try to Google it and to read the myth. We have two personalities. The one is Prometheus, which means a person which acted before the problem happened. And then is the Epimetheus, the contrary, somebody which when the problem happened and all the impacts were present, try to find solution, which in the second case costs a lot, much more in effort and in money. So before to put a full stop, another part which should be considered by us as decision makers is the following. The investigation, your work, can be financed by public sources. The application cannot. So if we want to apply the standard in the private sector, it's okay, because the schools which are present here have decided that this is a core problem, and they invest, not spend money, they invested in this, in the solution of this problem. But when we address the problem to the public authority and we ask millions to put in the Greek schools, the primary schools, the answer is no. So this standard which present a harmonized solution, a low-cost harmonized solution, can be digested in a more easy way. This is the practical part of the problem. Full stop. Thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you very much, Mr. Theofanopoulos. And I know that our conference participants know where to reach out to find out more about this process if there's interest. We will finish now with some closing remarks by the EAN President.
Closing remarks. Thank you very much that you came all the way from different countries. Thank you very much for participating. I'm very thrilled that for the first time I see a meeting, a symposium, whatever you want to call it, a forum, that comes out with results, with concrete results. Thank you all for participating.